Next, we will look at various propagation level. So propagation level decides when there are multiple or nested transactions, how they behave. So first propagation level is required. If transaction exists, the current method will join it. If no transaction exists, a new one will be created. For example, there are two methods, method A and method B. If method A is transactional, method B will join the same transaction, and if method A is not transactional, method B will create a new transaction. Next propagation level is requires new. In this case of propagation level, it will suspend the existing transaction and start a new transaction for current method. When the method completes, the new transaction is committed or rolled back and the original transaction resumes. So to understand this type of propagation level, we can take an example where there are two methods. If method is already in transaction, method B will always create a new transaction. And if method A is rolled back, method B's transaction will not be rolled back because it's running in new transaction or independent transaction. So next propagation level is supports. If transaction exists, method will participate in it. If no transaction exists, it will execute non-transactionally. For example, if there are two methods, method A and B. If A is transactional, method B will join that transaction. And if A is not transactional, method B will run without a transaction. Next is not supported. The method will never run inside a transaction. If transaction exists, it will suspended while the method is running and resumed after the method completes. For example, if method A is and B are there, if method is transactional, the transaction will be suspended while method B executes. If method A is not transactional, method B will run normally. And the last one is the propagation level is a never. The method will never run inside a transaction. If transaction exists, an exception will be thrown, and the exception will be illegal transaction state exception. For example, if there are two methods, method A and B, method A is calling method B. If method is in transactional or annotated with at the rate of transactional, and it's calling B, at that time, exception will be thrown. If method is non-transactional, then B will be run normally.